This is Dr. Ferguson, 2004 Olympian, four-time national judo champion, Brazilian Jiu-jitsu black belt, and author of Coffee with Rhadi. I would like to welcome you to another version of Coffee with Rhadi, and today I would like to talk to you about something that has been on my mind for some time. It's something that we don't really recognize. I think it's a teaching opportunity that we bypass, forego, and should definitely take the time, opportunity, and focus to make sure that it is part not only of our lives, but part of our children's lives as well. I was watching television the other day, and I found myself looking around for the remote control when I was no more than 2 to 3 paces away from the television. I remember the time when I was growing up that the television had 2 knobs on it. One was the VH knob and the other one was the UH knob. One was for the channels 14 and higher, and the other one was for the channels from 2 to 13. I recall in Florida that I used to get up in the morning at around 8 or 9 o'clock and start watching cartoons, and I couldn't wait until 11 o'clock and 12 o'clock until wrestling came on. You got to watch the WWF at the time, which is WWE, at 11 o'clock. And then at 12 o'clock, buddy, you got to watch Florida wrestling. If you're not really familiar with Florida wrestling, this is where the people in Florida got to see Dusty Rhodes become the Midnight Rider. This is where we really got to see Ric Flair and Dusty Rhodes have his battles. We saw Wahoo McDaniel get it down Saturday after Saturday after Saturday with Gordon Soley doing the commentary. Before you had your WCWs and before the NWA was real big to us, it was Florida wrestling. This is what it was. We would watch Florida wrestling, and then we'd go out in the backyard, take our shirts off, and start chopping each other in the chest like Wahoo McDaniel, because that's just what we did. While thinking about those particular times, I was thinking about that while I was looking for the remote, and I asked Rufus, my son, to turn the channel for me. And he went up to the TV, and because we didn't have the remote, he had to go to the side of the TV and open up a little compartment there and then start turning the channel. And I thought to myself, this is a problem that my son is having when it comes to doing a task. I remember my dad used to tell me, hey man, you did X, Y, and Z, and I need you to fine tune it. And the only reason why I knew what fine tune was or what fine tune meant is because we had an antenna. And when you would mess with the television, you had to put the antenna the right way to get the picture right. But the picture wasn't all the way right. What you had to do, then you had to go to that knob and you had to hit that fine tune knob. And you had to fine tune it to the left and the right until that picture was absolutely clear. And that taught us, because we didn't have any other type of instrumentation in the house at the time, that taught us that when you do a task, although the task is done and that the grand landscape as you know it is finished, that thing really isn't fine-tuned until you take some time and work on that thing which you have done. See, a lot of kids today, they do a project or they do a paper and then they just hand it in. They don't realize that paper or that project needs to be done the day before so that you can spend the next day fine-tuning the thing. So we come up in this era that everything has an app and everything has a button, everything gets hit and pushed, and then you go. A lot of us even burn popcorn because we look at the directions, and if the directions on the microwave say 2.5 minutes, we set up for 2.5 minutes and we walk away, not knowing that in order for a good bag of popcorn to be made in the microwave, somebody has to stay there and watch it as it gets to 221, 222, and you have to listen and hear when the pops begin to diminish or the time in between the pop starts to increase. Then you pull it out because you understand fine tuning. See, you're listening for the sound, so you are fine tuning the popcorn process. You understand that the grand scope is that you have a bag of popcorn, and that the other thing on the grand level is that you have a time that they have given you in order to pop the popcorn. But in order for that popcorn to be correct, for it not to burn, for it to be perfect, it needs your particular input to be fine-tuned. See, when I'm on the mat and I'm teaching my son, and I said, Rufus, I need you to fine-tune the technique, I was getting frustrated because he didn't understand what fine-tuning was. I didn't realize that I had a lesson. I received a lesson from the age of about 5 or 4 until I was 14 on fine-tuning by walking up to the television and fine-tuning the TV in terms of clarity of picture. See, when you see something in your mind, you can take it from your mind into reality. But it's really not clear and clean. You have to sit down and fine-tune it to make it look exactly as you had it in your mind. Anything that you're going to do in life, if it's going to be excellent or of good report, or if it's going to be of high quality, it requires some fine-tuning. Fine-tuning takes time. Fine-tuning is a process. Fine-tuning is also something that you have to understand. I have done various sports in my life. But the one thing that I noticed from martial arts is that people like to learn a technique and then they think they have the technique. They think that they've done the technique one time or 100 times that they have the technique. They don't understand that all they've done is turn the channel. They have to spend the rest of their lives fine-tuning. You don't need a lot of unclear channels in your life. You just need a few that are very well fine-tuned. This is Dr. Ferguson. Have a super fantastic day. And please do not forget to visit www.coffeewithradi.com.